days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord.
Welcome to Love's Last Call with Evangelist Carol Ann of Agape Light Ministries. Please open your hearts to hear an anointed message that will encourage and empower you to walk in the love and light of God's Word.
Beloved, today we're going to pick up with a commentary written for End Time magazine entitled One World Religion, Past, Present, and Future, that we left off with in our last episode. Even though the religious arm of the Antichrist global empire was already being birthed in the heart of Lucifer, from the moment pride entered him, and he became possessed with the desire to be God, we are going to address its more recent development, which is drawing us ever closer to its complete formation. This deadly counterfeit will be fully in operation for the first 3.5 years of the Tribulation Period, and then she will be destroyed by agents of the Antichrist when he no longer needs her, for he will be a religion unto himself, and the efforts to bring all people on earth to worship him will already have been completed. In Revelation 13:11-15 we read, "And I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spoke like a dragon. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence. And he makes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose fatal wound was healed. And he performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down out of heaven to the earth in the presence of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth because of the signs which it was given him to perform in the presence of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who had the wound of the sword and has come to life. And there was given to him to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast might even speak, and cause as many as do not worship the image of the beast to be killed." And so, beloved, with the Word of God as our foundation, let's take a look at some of the most prominent players that have been drawn together in the demonic networking of the enemy, in formation of the one world religion of the Antichrist. The end-time commentary begins with the uniting of all religions through the ploy of interfaithism. They write, 1893, the first parliament of the world's religions. In 1893, the first parliament of the world's religions was held in Chicago. Its stated goal was to cultivate harmony among the world's religions and spiritual communities, and to foster their engagement with the world and its guiding institutions, in order to achieve a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. It was actually way ahead of its time, because not much else, at least on the surface, had happened on interfaithism for 80 years or so. August 1985, Pope John Paul II visits Morocco. In August of 1985, Pope John Paul II visited Morocco at the invitation of King Hassan II. He became the first pope to visit an officially Islamic country at the invitation of its religious leader. There, at a historic meeting with thousands of Muslim youth in Casablanca Stadium, he seductively emphasized that we believe in the same God, the one God, the living God. But do Christians and Muslims believe in the same God? Absolutely not. True Christians believe that Jesus is God and that he died on the cross for all of humanity. Muslims do not believe that Jesus is God, and they deny that he died on the cross. They are worshippers of the moon god Allah. So now interfaithists were taking huge leaps of blind faith. This continued in 1986, when Pope John Paul II convened the World Day of Prayer. As part of the enemy's deception, this agent of darkness used a cunning maneuver of telling the people that he could bring believers together by prayer, an idea that inspired the 1986 World Day of Prayer for Peace, which was held in Assisi, Italy. The rub, however, was Which God were they praying to? And I interject here, beloved, that the ecumenical and interfaithism efforts of Pope John Paul II were far more reaching than the example we are covering today. But in order to keep with the integrity of the end-time commentary, we'll save that information for another time. And moving on, 1986, World Day of Prayer, Assisi, Italy. This unprecedented gathering at the Pope's invitation drew leaders of Jews, Buddhists, Shintoists, Muslims, Zoroastrians, Hindus, Unitarians, traditional African and Native American religions, and many others, together under the roof of the Basilica of St. Francis. They all prayed side by side with Catholic, Orthodox, and Protestant leaders for world peace. Even though there can never be true peace apart from the Prince of Peace, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah, the one true and only God of all creation. 1993, Parliament of the World's Religions' 100th year anniversary. Finally, in 1993, the Parliament of the World's Religions was held in Chicago on the 100th anniversary of the first Parliament of the World's Religions. Catholics, Protestants, Hindus, Jews, Muslims, Sikhs, Astorians, Wiccan witches, indigenous people, and many others were in attendance. At this meeting, a global ethic was adopted that was authored by the eminent Catholic theologian Hans Kuhn. A global ethic is a global belief statement, the essence of which can be captured in 3 quotes from the document. 1. We affirm that a common set of core values is found in the teachings of the religions, and that these form the basis for a global ethic that all religions can agree upon. 2. There already exist ancient guidelines for human behavior, which are found in the teachings of the religions of the world, and which are the condition for a sustainable world order. And 3, we must sink our narrow differences for the cause of the world community, practicing a culture of solidarity and relatedness. Sink our narrow differences. Narrow differences such as, was Jesus God or was he not? Was he the Messiah or was he not? Was he crucified on the cross or was he not? Or is Allah God or Jehovah God or Brahma God? They call these opposing beliefs narrow differences in the global ethic. Why? So that the internationalists can realize their dream of a world community and a one-world government. This prideful and Luciferian thinking is what drives interfaithism, and it is what is forming the one-world religion of the Antichrist. 1994, Catholic Catechism says that salvation includes Muslims. In 1994, the first new Roman Catholic Catechism in 400 years was published. In item 841, under the Church's relationship with the Muslims, it states, the plan of salvation also includes those who acknowledge the Creator, in the first place amongst whom are the Muslims. These profess to hold the faith of Abraham, and together with us they adore the one merciful God, mankind's judge on the last day, end quote. The New Catholic Catechism clearly states that the plan of salvation also includes the Muslims, because they claim to worship the God of Abraham. Never mind that Muslims adamantly deny that Jesus was God manifest in the flesh. With the statement in the New Catechism, the Roman Catholic Church took another huge leap into the murky waters of interfaithism. June 26, 1995. Ecumenical service held in San Francisco to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the signing of the UN Charter. It was June 26, 1995, exactly 50 years after the UN Charter was signed. The service was hosted by Bishop William Swing of Grace Episcopal Church in San Francisco at the request of the UN. People attending were UN Secretary Boutros Boutros-Ghali, Princess Margaret of Great Britain, Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, President Lech Walesa of Poland, and many other international dignitaries. After this ecumenical meeting, Bishop Swing decided that he should investigate the possibility of establishing a United Religions Organization, or a United Nations of Religions. He traveled throughout 1996, visiting such people as Pope John Paul II, Bishop Desmond Tutu, the Dalai Lama, and Mother Teresa. Coming back from those meetings, he reported that the reception to the idea of a United Nations of Religions was overwhelming. Consequently, in 1997, Reverend Swing decided to hold the first charter writing conference for the United Religions Organization. 1998, United Religions Initiative 2000. In 1998, Bishop Swing held the second charter writing conference at Stanford University in California. In attendance were Catholics, Protestants, Jews, Hindus, indigenous people, and Wiccans. The charter was finally completed, and the United Religions was officially born in June of the year 2000. 2000 Millennium World Peace Summit. About 3 months after the United Religions was formed, there was a meeting held at the United Nations called the Millennium World Peace Summit. This was the first religious meeting ever held at the United Nations. It was held 1 week before the Millennium Summit for the world's political leaders. The concept behind this meeting was to bring about cooperation between the religious leaders of the world and the political leaders of the world. The Millennial World Peace Summit was sponsored by Mr. Ted Turner, who had gifted $1 billion to the United Nations. Because he put up the money, Turner was the keynote speaker for the meeting. There were about 1,000 religious leaders in attendance from all over the world. The hope of the World Peace Summit was to engage religious and spiritual leadership as an interfaith ally to the United Nations in its quest for peace, global understanding, and international cooperation. Beloved, just to more fully understand the demonic realities that are hidden behind the superficial pretenses that are given in the promotions for a one-world religion, and the false peace that these agents of darkness purport they are aiming for, Ted Turner, in a speech given to the National Press Club, is quoted as saying, "Remember, heaven is going to be perfect, and I don't really want to be there. Those of us who go to hell, which will be most of us in this room, most journalists are certainly going to be there," which prompted laughter from all in the room. But when we get there, we'll have a chance to make things better because hell is supposed to be a mess. And heaven is perfect. Who wants to go to a place that is perfect? Boring, boring, boring. And again, laughter. Also, in late 1989, Turner told Dallas Morning News that Christianity is a religion for losers. Christ died on the cross, beloved, but Mr. Turner said that he shouldn't have bothered. Oh, how I pray that Mr. Turner, who is currently 86 and suffering from Lewy body dementia, deeply repents while he still has time to do so. For if he doesn't, he will find himself in hell, where not only will he not be in charge of straightening out the mess that he thinks he'll find there, but he will suffer an eternity of horror apart from the God of love, who lovingly offered up his blood atonement sacrifice on his behalf, so that Mr. Turner would never have to go there. And this is where we must close for today, beloved. God willing, we'll pick up here in our next episode where we left off today. Until then, unless we are raptured to meet Jesus in the air, I leave you with John 1, 9-12. There was the true light, which coming into the world enlightens every man. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and those who were his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, even to those who believe in his name. All praise, honor, and glory be his forever. And as always, beloved, I bid you his agape.
You've been listening to Love's Last Call with Evangelist Carol Ann of Agape Light Ministries. If you have a prayer request, please contact us at Agape Light Ministries, P.O. Box 6313, Chesterfield, Missouri 63006, or via our website at www.agapelightministries.com. Again, that's www.agapelightministries.com.